Hello, operator. Can you please connect me with OTR Halloween Holidays? I don't want to miss this episode of the Bah Ghoulie Show.
Mummers in the Little Theater of the Air.
And now the Hermit.
Ghost stories. Weird stories. And murders, too. The Hermit knows of them all. Turn out your lights. Turn them out. Have you heard the story? The House of Murder, eh? Then listen while the Hermit tells you the story.
Yes, come in.
Mr. Burton, I'd like my wages, if you please.
What's that?
Yes, Mr. Burton.
Well, Millie, you're dressed to go out. My breakfast hasn't been served.
That's right, Mr. Burton. I'm leaving right now, and I'd like my wages, if you please.
Oh, this is preposterous.
Oh, it's something bad, all right.
You can't go without giving me more notice than this.
I'm sorry, but I can't stay.
What's it all about?
This house, Mr. Burton, it's this house. It's truly haunted.
Nonsense. It's just because we've only been in the house for a few days. It's strange to you yet.
You don't get over being strange. It gets worse every night.
Oh, ridiculous.
Well, you can say all you want to Mr. Burton, but I'm leaving. I'll work for you in the city. I've been faithful to you for a good many years, and I'll go right on being faithful if you'll move back to the city again.
Millie, I can't run my life to suit those who work for me. I purchased this house in the country in order that I might have peace and quiet for my work.
There's a little peace here. Every night the sounds. And last night I... Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Please, Mr. Burton, I've got to be leaving this morning.
How are you going to get into town?
I took the liberty of calling one of the stores, and the owner's sending his son out with a car.
Oh, all right, Millie.
As soon as you give me my wages, I'll wait outside. I'm afraid to stay inside any longer.
Why, of all the
If you
absurd...
value your life, you'll get out, too.
No wind to open that door. I must have left it unlatched. Feels just as if someone was in the room here with me. Oh, it's as if something brushed past me. I could swear I felt it touch my shoulder. Oh, ridiculous. Pages turning. Pages of my ledger turning. Just as if a hand moved the pages. Wind couldn't cause it. There isn't any wind in here. Oh, I'm dreaming things. It's utter nonsense. Millie's got me all upset. Oh, my test tubes. My experiment. The test tubes knocked to the floor. I'm not dreaming this. This is too real. I need calmer, You'll solve this. Hello. I want to put in a long-distance call. I'd like to speak to Lyman Carmer in Myuu Carden. Yes. Yes, you've got it right. Lyman Carmer in Myuu Carden. The telephone number is...
How much farther do we have to drive into the wilds, young man?
We're almost there now.
Life of me, I can't figure why Jim wants to hide himself away miles from civilization.
Well, this new man ain't been out there but a few days.
Few days too many, if you ask me.
I drove out here yesterday. I picked up a woman who'd been working out there. Wanted to go back to the city.
Not Millie.
Seems like that was the name she gave.
Well, what's up?
I couldn't rightly tell you, mister. Just couldn't tell you.
Jim seemed to be strangely urgent about something last night.
Look, mister. You can see the lights of the house now. See, about 8-10 right away through the trees.
Oh, yes. What sort of a place is it?
Oh, it's quite a place, mister. Really something in its day.
Old house, hmm?
Yes, sir. I guess no one's lived in it for years. Old man Chimler knows it. He's lived in town as long as I can remember. Yeah, this is the drive leading up to the house. Lined with trees on both sides. House never gets no real daylight into it. Here we are, sir. I'll get your bag.
Oh, never mind. I can take it. You young men?
Oh, thank you, mister. It's more than it's worth.
That's all right.
Anything I can do for you, just call the general store and ask for Mark.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Lyman.
Jim. Hello, Jim.
I began to think you didn't make the train.
I was 40 minutes late.
Come on in. Nice of you to come.
You old recluse. The idea of picking a spot no man ever heard of.
Bring your things into the sitting room. We'll go upstairs later.
All right. Well, this is nice.
Uh-huh. Sit down.
Thanks.
Yes, Millie got it fixed up pretty well before she went back to the city. My laboratory is right off this room. Everything handy. You had dinner, Lyman?
Yes, Jim. On the train.
Good. I'm not much at fixing meals.
The young man, Mark, from the general store, said that Millie had left you. What's the idea?
I'll tell you all about it. That's why I called you.
Well, it's nice here, Jim, but I can't see why you chose a place so far away from everywhere.
Oh, I like it here.
Well, that's reason enough, I guess. Millie coming back to take care of you?
No. No, I'm afraid not. Lyman, Millie left because she was certain that this house is haunted.
Oh, Jim.
I called you last night because I remember a story you once told. Story of a haunted house. You told it as if you gave credence to the tale.
Is that so?
I remember well. That's why I wanted you here.
Well, Jim, you don't think by any chance that this house is haunted, do you?
I'm not so sure but what I do.
Oh, absurd.
You think it impossible?
Well, naturally.
You didn't talk that way when you were telling us that evening of a place off the coast you knew that was haunted.
That was a fireside tale. Quite different from reality.
Lyman, it's only a short time until midnight. Will you come into the laboratory with me? Will you sit in there with me for a little while and see if the same things that happened last night occur again?
Of course.
If the same things do occur again, I shall be convinced that Millie was right. I shall be quite sure that something does happen. Does haunt the house.
Nearly midnight, Jim.
Did you check the door into the laboratory to see if it's closed tightly?
I checked it.
You're convinced it's securely fastened?
Yes. Just striking midnight.
Yes. This was the hour last night.
What are we to watch for?
The door first. The door into this laboratory. Listen. It sounded as if someone has his hand on the doorknob. as it did before.
There's no wind tonight.
No, last night. Lyman, do you feel the presence of someone in this room? Someone besides us?
No, I don't.
I do.
What is it?
Once again, it was as if something brushed past me. Touched my shoulder.
What's that?
Look. Look over on the table. Watch my ledger. You see? The pages of my ledger are turning. As if a hand is on them.
Jim, I can't believe my eyes. It's incredible.
Now look. On the workbench. See? Something is moving those test tubes. I'm going to stop this before all my experimental work is ruined.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to walk over there, put my hands on the rack. What? Lyman. Something touched my hand. Something I felt like sharp nails digging into the flesh.
Oh, it's your nerves, Burton.
Lyman, there's something in this room. Something that moves about in here. Some unseen thing that enters the door and moves in this room.
Don't let your imagination run away with you, Jim.
There is a thing in the house beyond scientific explanation. You know it. It's something vital and alive. A thing of power and locomotion. And it's up to us to find out what it is.
Well, we might as well look through this room. No use overlooking anything.
Seems silly, doesn't it? We're not going to find anybody in these rooms.
Didn't you say that Millie heard things upstairs?
So she said. She complained the very first night we were here that someone entered her room.
She didn't see anyone?
No. She didn't see any more than we did just a while ago downstairs.
Now that the incident of downstairs is past, it seems to me that it never happened. Perhaps it was your power of suggestion that made us both think we saw movement. Well, nothing out of the ordinary in this room.
No.
Well, what do you say we forget it and get some sleep, hmm?
All right. We're not going to discover anything tonight, I guess.
Did you talk to the man who sold you the house, Jim?
Jim?
Yes.
Sure. He brought me out here after I'd chanced upon the place. We went all through it together.
Of course, he didn't say why the house had stood unoccupied for a long time.
Yes, he did. Said that after his wife died, he wanted to live in town. But he was getting too old to keep up a place like this.
Uh-huh.
Said that up to this time, he couldn't find anyone who could afford to buy it. Oh, well, we'll go downstairs and get your things and bring them up to your room. Lyman, what was that?
Something downstairs.
It came from the laboratory. I know it did. It's the only place where there's so much glass.
Don't get upset, Jim.
Great heavens, look.
Well, of all things.
Everything in the room's smashed. Equipment that's taken me months to build. Everything ruined.
Jim, some human has been in here. Someone who's trying to stop your experiment by destroying your equipment. Wipe out your work.
Oh, ruined. It'll take months to arrive at this point in my experiment again.
Someone has been hiding downstairs here, Jim. Now, we've got to find out where and who it is.
Is it a human being who hides in the house, intent upon destroying all that Jim Burton creates in his laboratory? Or is it an unseen force, as Jim said earlier in the evening? An unseen force with power and locomotion that lives in the old house? Eh? The hermit will tell you before the night is done. It is the following night. Jim Burton and his friend Lyman Carmer sit in the laboratory. Just a few minutes ago, the clock struck midnight. Right now, Burton is busily engaged building up step by step the experiment which has been ruined the night before. Lyman Karma sits watching him.
Jim, don't you think you ought to knock off for the night? You worked steadily all day.
Oh, there's so much time lost that I have to make up, Lyman.
Well, it certainly aren't going to have any visitor tonight.
There's nothing left for them to destroy now.
Tomorrow I'll go into town and inquire around. Think I should go to see old man Chimlin. Ask him to tell me something about the place. Well, maybe he can put us on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
I would have gone today, but I wanted to make sure. I wanted to see if we'd have the same experience of last night. You, going to work much longer?
At least an hour.
It's way past midnight. Guess I'll go upstairs.
Okay.
If you want anything, call me.
All right, Lyman. Thanks a lot for staying over. It's a great help.
Yes, if we can find out what it is or who it is that's causing this trouble.
We'll find out. Good night.
Good night.
Let's see. Next step is to unite the two chemicals to form step B. Where's that ledger? Yes. And the next step I performed was... Oh, wait. Pages in the ledger. Page 5, 6. A page is missing from here. Every step I'd worked out and put down is torn out of this book. Oh. What is it? What is it that dogs my trail and won't let me do this work? Step by step, I'll have to work it all over again. What? Someone at the door again. Is that you, Lyman? No, it isn't. Just as before, I feel the presence of some person in this room. As if they were standing over me. Look. What do you want? What is it you... Something around my neck. Something choking me. Choking me. Jim, help. Help me. Jim, help.
What is it? What's happened? Fainted. Fallen to the floor. Jim. But... Great heaven. His whole face is burned by the stuff he was working with. Hello? Oh, for heaven's sake, hurry. Hello, operator. Send a doctor to the old Chimlin place right away. Hurry. There's been a terrible accident. Man's face is almost burned away. Well, Doctor?
I'm afraid it's quite hopeless. If he lives, his sight will be gone. His face horribly scarred.
Poor Jim. We'd only gotten out of this place last night.
Did you call Asa Chimlin as I asked you to do?
Yes, he should be here any minute.
I'll wait then.
Sit down, Doctor.
After the story you told me about the experience you've had, I think it's up to Chimlin to tell his story.
You sound as if there was something very mysterious. Something that Jim should have been told before he bought this place from Chimlin. And if it had been told, it would have saved him the agonies he's going through right now.
Mr. Karma, what I know has given me in professional confidence. What others in the town might have told you would have been gossip. And no one tells gossip about Asa Chimlin.
How so, Doctor?
Well, he's the owner of many mortgages, many notes. A man of wealth and power in our community.
I see.
Oh, there's a car turning in the drive, Mr. Karma.
It must be Chimlin.
I'll go up to Mr. Burton again. Call me if Chimlin refuses to speak.
Well, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Well, hello, Mart. Where's Mr. Chimlin?
Oh, he didn't come, sir. He called at our house and got me to drive out and bring you this note.
Well, come in.
Why, I reckon I better not, sir.
Well, why not?
I reckon I just as leave stay outside of this house, if you don't mind.
Oh, come on in just a moment while I read this note. Nothing can harm you in the daytime.
Well, all right. Just till you read the note.
Come in here. Sit down while I read the note.
Yes.
Oh. Well. Mart, what made you say you'd rather not come inside this house?
Oh, I can't say, sir. Really, I can't. Mr. Chimlin would get even with my dad if I said any more. You see, he about owns our store.
I wouldn't tell Chimlin. Come now.
Well, sir, you see, the Chimlins, their daughter, she wasn't quite right, and she died out here. And Mrs. Chimlin, she hanged herself. Folks have always been scared of this house because of that.
I see. Why did Mrs. Chimlin hang herself?
I don't rightly know.
Well, perhaps the doctor can tell us.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Doc.
Chimlin didn't come. Sent this note saying he would refund Mr. Burton's money and take the house back again. Says nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
But Mart here has volunteered to tell me that there were 2 deaths in this old house. One, a hanging.
That's right.
Mrs. Chimlin.
Yes.
And the girl?
Her case was hopeless. 18, she had a mind of a child of 4. They took her everywhere, but to no avail. Time after time, Mrs. Chimlin pleaded with me to put the girl to sleep, to end her misery. But I couldn't do that. She hated me for it. Her hate grew until her mind was unsettled. One day, she took it upon herself to end the girl's life. Then, realizing what she'd done, she hanged herself in the room Mr. Burton has been using for his laboratory.
If Mr. Chimlin knew, we told us, Doc.
Oh, that's all right, Mart. If there is any truth in the fact that an unseen force lives in this house, and you'll see how hard it is for me to believe that, then why did it seek vengeance on Mr. Burton?
I have never believed in supernatural force any more than you. But remember, I've seen it at work in this house. And as for seeking vengeance on Jim... Doctor, he was working on an experiment to prolong life. A discovery which might have added untold years to the life of a human being. And this is something that the spirit of the woman who hanged herself did not want. That's why it destroyed the experiments.
And that's why it destroyed Jim Burton. He died just before I came downstairs.
The hermit knows that in the old house, the unseen force was the spirit of a woman who took her own life. A woman who could not rest in her grave. A woman who returned to destroy anything that might prolong life. Yes. She killed Jim Burton by the power of supernatural force. Turn on your lights. Turn them on. I'll be back. Pleasant dreams.
All characters, places, and occurrences mentioned in the Hermit's Cave are fictitious, and similarity to persons, places, or occurrences is purely accidental.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar.
Let's go out to the lobby. Let's go out to the lobby.
Let's go out to the lobby
And have ourselves a treat.
It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watch Waddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda. This week, guest quacking on the Bah Ghoulie Show, Waddle the Duck. And here's Waddle. Hey folks, Waddle from Watch Waddle here. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. And if you're considering getting a new radio to listen to them, why not get one with the newest innovation, the 4-speed record player? Because available now is our newest hits from Watch Waddle Production. Check out me and the gang and our hilarious, zany, and crazy tunes, filled with spoofs, gags, and jokes. Available in our playlist collection. Check them out for some cheap laughs and running gags. Well, and when we say running gags, we ain't kidding, brother. Screwy Forest's Watch Waddle cartoons. Available on Channel Watch Waddle. The Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
The Sealed Book. Once again, the keeper of the book has opened the ponderous door to the secret vault, wherein is kept the great sealed book, in which is recorded all the secrets and mysteries of mankind through the ages. Here are tales of every kind, tales of murder, of madness, of dark deeds strange and terrible beyond all belief. Keeper of the book, I would know what tale we tell this time. Open the great book and let us read. Slowly, the great book opens. One by one, the keeper of the book turns the pages and stops. Ah, the strange story of a cursed and evil spirit, a spirit that threatened the peace and happiness of a young married couple. A tale called Stranger in the House. Here is the tale, Stranger in the House, as it is written on the pages of the sealed book. The tale was told by Jane Burton herself.
From the first moment I saw Wickford Manor, I was filled with a sense of uneasiness, almost fear, a fear I couldn't explain. To all outward appearances, Wickford Manor was just another old, staunchly built colonial house, the kind you see through all New England. Roger, my husband, was delighted with the house. Its beauty and remoteness won his heart from the beginning.
Say, take a look at that beautiful staircase. Look at this magnificent fireplace in the drawing room.
Yes, it is beautiful, Roger.
It's just the size house we need, with 4 rooms upstairs.
4 rooms upstairs? How do you know, Roger? The agent never mentioned how many rooms the house had.
Didn't he? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go upstairs and look. Come on, Janie.
All right, Roger.
This house would require very little in the way of repairs.
But it hasn't any electricity, Roger.
Oh, well, we could use lamps until a line could be run to the house. Look, Janie, there are 4 rooms up here.
So there are. It's as though you've been in this house before.
Yes, I have a feeling I have. Well, perhaps that's the reason I like it. But, darling, you've been ever so quiet since we entered the house. Don't you care for it?
I don't know. It seems unfriendly.
Well, if you don't like it, then we'll keep on looking until we find a house we both like.
Oh, nonsense. I've been married to you too long not to know you've got your heart set on this place. We'll never find anything nicer. Now, that room with the southern exposure will be our bedroom.
Oh, Janie, you're wonderful. And we will be happy here. I know we will.
Because I loved Roger and wanted to see him happy, I buried my fears and agreed to the purchase of the house. The first evening in our new home, as I went about the drawing room unpacking our belongings, I suddenly realized how cold and clammy the room was in spite of the roaring fire. Beyond the feeble light of the oil lamp, the room was thick with fog. Suddenly it seemed to engulf me like a shroud, and I felt the icy coldness of the grave upon me. My heart pounded in my ears. I felt faint. After what seemed like eternity, the fog rolled away. The light of the lamp became brighter. I felt unbearably alone. I rushed out of the drawing room. As I opened the door to the study, I saw Roger seated before the fireplace. He was staring unseeingly at the ashes of a fire long since gone out. Roger. Roger. Roger!
What? Oh, it's you, Jane.
Roger, is anything wrong?
Wrong?
Yes, you seem so far away, remote. It frightened me. Do you smell perfume in here?
Perfume? Why, yes. It's the perfume I gave you for your birthday, isn't it?
No. No, it isn't my perfume. It smells like narcissus.
Yes, so it does.
How strange. Roger, what were you thinking of when I came in here?
Why, I don't know. My mind was reaching out for something. Something in the past. But it was also confused. It was as if I were wandering in a fog.
Wandering in a fog?
Yes. Well, Jane, you're so pale. Aren't you feeling well?
I'm just tired. It's been rather a tiring day.
Now, you go up to bed, Jane. I'll be along later.
All right, dear. Don't forget to turn out the lamp when you come up.
I won't.
I left the study and Roger. After tossing in my bed for hours, I fell into a fitful sleep. And I suddenly awakened to hear the clock in the hall striking the hour. It was 5 o'clock, and Roger's bed was empty. Quickly slipping on my robe, I left my room and started down the stairs. As I reached the foot of the stairs, I stopped. For to my astonishment, I heard Roger's voice in the study. I slowly approached until I was at the door.
Who are you? This mist. If I could only make you out clearer. It's so difficult. The mist obscures your face. Who are you? Why don't you say something?
Roger! Roger! Unlock the door. It's Jane.
What's wrong? The mist, it's coming between us. I can hardly see you. Oh, don't go. Come back, please. Please come back.
Darling, please unlock this door. Please! Roger!
And now back to the story as it is written in the sealed book. It was 5 o'clock in the morning when Jane suddenly woke and found Roger locked in his study. He was apparently talking to someone, although there could be no one there. Hysterically, Jane pounded on the study door.
Darling, unlock the door, please. Roger! Oh, Roger.
What is it, Jane?
I was so frightened. Who are you talking to?
Talking to? I don't know. I must have been dreaming.
Oh, yes. Yes, you must have been. There isn't anyone in here. Roger, the scent of narcissus. So strong in here.
Yes.
Much stronger than it was at midnight. Roger, what were you dreaming about?
It was night. All around me was a mist. And there was a woman.
A woman?
Yes. I could barely make out her face in the swirling mists. But it was a beautiful face. The most beautiful face I've ever seen.
Did you feel you'd seen her before?
Yes. But I couldn't remember where.
Oh, what do you make of it, Roger?
Make of it? Oh, it was just a dream, I suppose. What else could it have been?
Roger said it was a dream. But in his heart, I knew he believed it was more than a dream. During the days that followed, he'd pace incessantly in the study, paying no attention to me, living only for the coming of twilight. And when night did fall, he'd lock himself in the study, forbidding me to disturb him. Hours would pass, and then suddenly I'd hear him talking to her, begging her to come closer, pleading with her to speak to him. At last one night, I couldn't stand it any longer. When he began talking to her, I knocked on the door of the study until he opened it.
What do you want? I thought I told you I wasn't to be disturbed.
I must talk to you.
You must be fool. She was about to speak to me for the first time. And you knocked on the door and caused her to vanish.
Oh, Roger, you're not in love with her. You couldn't be.
But I am. There's never a moment I don't think of her. Wish that I might see her.
Oh, what you're saying is madness. You can't be in love with her. She's from another world, a phantom, an evil ghost.
No, she isn't evil. She's beautiful. So beautiful I'd give my life for her.
Roger, listen to me. You must come away from this house and from her. She's cast a spell over you, and it can only lead to disaster. Roger, we must leave this house at once.
No, never.
I insist.
Get out, you hear? And don't come back. I'll never leave her, never.
Dr. Smith, in view of what I've told you, do you think you can help me?
Now, you say, Mrs. Barton, that when you drove out to Wickford Manor for the first time, your husband seemed to recognize the house?
Certain things about it, yes.
There's a history to Wickford Manor, though few people are familiar with it.
A history to Wickford Manor?
Yes. The house was built in 1811 by Martin Wickford for his bride, Harriet. A year later, Harriet's sister Isabel came to live with the Wickfords. She was a remarkably beautiful woman, so beautiful that Martin Wickford fell in love with her, and she with him.
Then what happened?
Well, one day, while Martin was hunting in the mountains, he was killed in a fall. When his companions brought his body back to Wickford Manor, they found Harriet, his wife, dead. She'd been poisoned.
Poisoned?
Yes. At the sight of Martin's body, Isabel went to pieces and confessed that she had poisoned her sister. Before she could be arrested, she committed suicide in the study.
In the study?
Yes. In the years that followed the tragedy, Wickford Manor had a succession of tenants, all of whom left after a brief residence.
You mean they saw her, too?
Well, the tenants made no claim of seeing anyone, but their fear of an unknown element in the house led them to leave.
But if the other tenants never saw her, why should Roger see her?
Mrs. Barton, you said that your husband seemed to know many things beforehand about the house.
Yes, I recall joking with him about it. I said it was as though he'd been there before.
Perhaps he had, long ago, as another person.
As another person?
Yes.
You mean Roger had once known Wickford Manor in some previous life?
How else do you account for his remembrance of things that he'd never seen in this life?
Oh, you're trying to tell me something, Doctor. What is it?
Perhaps your husband and the spirit of the woman Isabel are able to bridge the gap of time and space because they had once known each other in another life.
Doctor, you don't believe that Roger was Martin Wickford?
I don't know. What is happening at Wickford Manor is beyond the knowledge of the living. But this I do know. We must return to the manor at once, for the spirit that's abroad in the house is one to be feared more than death itself.
Please come closer so I can see you better. Oh, you're beautiful. Beautiful. Won't you tell me who you are? We have met before, haven't we?
Yes. We've met before.
What? You spoke.
I've waited so long for you, Martin.
Why do you call me Martin? My name's Roger.
It was Martin. Then.
Then? What do you mean?
Look at me, Martin. Look into my eyes. Don't you remember me?
Yes, but where?
Think, Martin. Think. Time is the barrier between us, but we shall surmount it. Think back into the dim past when you lived in this house and we loved each other.
Isabel.
Oh. Yes, Martin. Isabel. Do you remember now?
Yes, Isabel, yes. I remember everything up to the day I went hunting in the mountains and fell. What happened to me, Isabel? What happened to us? To our love?
Don't think of that accursed day, darling, but think of the future. Our happiness together.
Oh, yes, Isabel. Our happiness together.
Roger. Roger, please open this door. Roger.
Martin, she's come back.
Yes. Darling, don't go. Don't leave me.
I must, Martin. I must. We could be so happy together.
Come back. Please come back.
Roger, please unlock this door, please.
What do you want? What did you come for?
Roger, this is Dr. Smith. Doctor, this is my husband.
What the devil did you bring him here for?
Roger, please. I thought perhaps you could help us.
Help us? I don't need anybody's help.
I must warn you, Mr. Barton. The spirit of the woman you see in the study is an evil one that will lead you to disaster.
I don't need help from you or anybody else. I'll get out of this house. Get out, both of you.
Doctor, we must do something. We must.
We shall, but not tonight. I must have time to think about it. You'd better return to the village with me.
No, I don't want to leave him in the house alone. Something might happen to him.
Very well, then. I'll return late tomorrow afternoon, and when I do, we shall take action.
Isabel, where are you? I'm alone now, darling. Please come back.
I'm here, Martin. I'm here.
Oh, yes, I see you now. Promise you'll never leave me again, Isabel.
I don't want to leave you, darling. But that woman is trying to come between us.
Jane?
Yes. She hates me, Martin. She will come between us if you don't get rid of her.
I tried to make her leave, but she wouldn't go.
Then that leaves only one thing to do.
One thing to do?
Yes. Come. We must hurry. It's almost dawn, and I'll have to leave you soon. Look at her, lying there asleep, so defenseless. Yes, go ahead. Put your hands around her throat and squeeze.
Oh.
Hurry, Martin, before she awakens.
Who's there?
Answer her.
It's Roger.
Oh, for a moment I was so frightened. What time is it?
It's just dawn.
Hurry, Martin, I must leave.
Yes.
Roger. Roger, why are you looking at me like that? Oh, no, Roger. No.
Tighter, Martin. Tighter until she stops struggling and is still forever.
Isabel, don't leave me. Isabel, where are you? Isabel, please don't leave me, Isabel.
Roger, she made you do it, didn't she? Oh, Roger.
And now to continue the story as it is written in the sealed book. As Jane finished describing to the doctor how Roger, urged on by the sinister spirit he called Isabel, had nearly strangled her, the doctor spoke.
And then, Mrs. Barton, you say your husband stopped choking you and ran out of your room and down to the study?
Yes, Dr. Smith.
Oh, I should have known better than to let you remain in this house last night. Don't you see? This Isabel knows that if he murders you, he will then join her cursed spirit forever in this house.
Oh, look. Look, it's growing dark out. Soon she'll appear to bewitch him again. Doctor, we must do something.
Very well. This woman, Isabel, has been denied the peace of the grave because her sister's blood is on her hands. She belongs neither to the living or the dead, only to this house. If we could get your husband to leave, Perhaps it would break the spell she's cast over him.
Yes, but he absolutely refuses to leave.
Then we must force him to. I could very quickly give him a hypodermic and render him unconscious.
Yes. Then we could carry him away.
And to make sure he never returns to this house, we must burn it to the ground before we leave.
Yes, we will burn it. And the evil that's in it.
Then if you'll lead me to the study.
All right, Doctor. Have you the hypodermic ready?
Yes. Now, when your husband opens the door, just gain his attention for a moment. Long enough for me to give him the injection.
Yes, very well. Roger. Roger, open the door. I want to talk to you.
What do you want? Why has he come back to this house?
He's come to take me away, Roger.
To take you away?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad to see you. What have you stuck me with? What's that in your hand?
Just a hypodermic, Mr. Barton.
A hypodermic? What are you up to? You're trying to take me away from this house. From her. Well, I won't go. I won't go. Do you hear? You'll...
Oh, Doctor, quick, he's falling.
I've got him, Mrs. Barton. Now, I suggest you take that lamp and smash it on the floor.
Yes. Let's burn the place down to the ground.
Yeah, that's it. Now, you'd better help me carry your husband out of the house. In a little while, this house will be a raging inferno. He's regaining consciousness, Mrs. Barton.
Will he remember what's happened?
I don't know.
How are you, darling?
Hello, Janie. Oh, but I had a terrible dream. I'm so confused.
You've been very ill, but now you're going to be all right.
Of course.
Oh. Where am I?
You're in my home, Mr. Barton.
Yes, darling. Our house burned down last night.
Burned down? Oh, that's too bad. Well, we only had one night in our new home.
One night? Oh, yes, of course, Roger.
Well, Mrs. Barton, in spite of the loss of your home, I think you were very fortunate, for there are things far worse than fire.
Yes, Doctor. And I can never thank you enough for breaking the bridge between the past and the present.
What are you two talking about?
Oh, nothing, darling. Nothing at all. Roger, you've been humming that all day.
Well, I like it.
But you can't carry a tune.
Oh, nonsense. I've carried this tune for 300 miles, and I'll carry it the rest of the way to California.
Oh, what a trip this is going to be. Roger.
What?
Do you smell something?
Yes. Good night air.
No, I don't mean that.
Well, what's wrong with you, Janie?
Don't you smell it?
What? You mean that perfume?
Yes.
Seems familiar. What is it?
Narcissus.
Narcissus?
Yes. Oh, Roger, we haven't escaped from her. She's here in this car.
Mart, it's Isabel. Think, darling. Think.
Roger. You look as though you're listening to her.
You do remember everything now. Don't you, Mart?
Yes.
Darling, we must get rid of her. She's trying to come between us.
Yes.
Oh, Roger, you mustn't listen to her.
Once she's gone, we'll be together forever, darling.
Yes. Forever.
Roger. Roger, why have you stopped the car? No. No, don't look at me like that. Roger, no. Stay away from me. You mustn't.
A few hours after Jane was found strangled in the abandoned car, State Police arrested Roger Barton and charged him with murder. Strangely enough, as Roger was being hanged for his crime, witnesses at the execution noticed a strange scent of perfume about the gallows. Some people said afterwards that it was Narcissus, and they remarked on the expression of joy on Roger's face as he died. And now, keeper of the book, before you close the great volume, show us the tale we tell next time. This one. Ah, yes, a weird and incredible tale of a wife who was being blackmailed because of her past. But because she did not know the identity of her blackmailer, she suffered 1,000 times over. The tale is called Out of the Past. Be sure to be with us again next time when the sound of the great gong heralds another strange and exciting tale from The Sealed Book. The Sealed Book, written by Bob Arthur and David Cogan, is produced and directed by Jock McGregor.
This episode of the Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by Waddle's Tunes, over at Channel Watch Waddle. Oh, that's where I left that bar of soap.
Hands are dirty, don't be a dope. Clean them up with bubbly soap.
Now that's some clean humor. The Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
And now, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Do you believe in ghosts? No? Well, then, how about poltergeists? You know, those noisy, mischievous spirits that rap on the walls, move the furniture, rattle the windows, generally make a scary nuisance of themselves. Do you? Believe in them, I mean? Of course not. Neither do I. And yet, now and then we hear reports from people of honesty, integrity, about strange, unexplainable manifestations that have sent them screaming with terror into the night. In a moment, Act One of Bells, starring Rosemary Rice and Bill Lipton, and written especially for Suspense by Jack Bundy.
The lively crowd today agrees. Those who think young say Pepsi, please. They pick the right one, the modern light one. Now it's Pepsi for those who think young. So go ahead and pick the drink that lets you drink young as you think. Yes, get the right one, the modern light one. Now it's Pepsi for those who think young.
Call this home?
Well, it won't be for long, because listen, Henry.
Oh, yeah? Listen to what? That blasted elevator practically tearing through our living room every couple of minutes, all day, all night, all week, all year?
Henry, listen.
Listen to it, right on cue, too. So help me, Lucy. Oh, what's the use? Oh, honey, seriously, if we have to live in this place much longer, I swear I'll go completely off my nut.
I know exactly what you mean. I felt that way myself. But from now on, Mr. Fielding, my dear, my darling Mr. Fielding, it won't be necessary.
Are you kidding?
No.
I've never talked to so many real estate agents, plowed through so many classified ads in my life, and what's it got me?
Darling, it's got you me. And listen to me. I've told you more than once that I'm psychic, and now I know that I am.
Oh, please, honey, not that again. How about some dinner?
But it's true, and now I know it is. Now I can prove it.
You mean that so-called guardian angel of yours has found us a nice, quiet little home in the country that we can afford?
That's exactly what I mean, because listen, Henry, listen very carefully now.
Really, Lucy, I've told you 1,000 times you can't seriously believe all that psychic stuff and all that junk about a guardian angel.
It's not junk. My guardian angel looks after me, and I'm sure of it now.
You are?
Yes, I am. Look at this newspaper. You see? It isn't the Herald Examiner at all. It's the Sentinel.
You mean because you picked up the wrong newspaper by mistake, that makes you psychic?
It wasn't any mistake. A few minutes ago, as I was leaving the supermarket, for some strange reason I can't explain, there was something, some strange feeling, some influence or something that just made me reach out and grab this particular paper. Made me, Henry. I couldn't help myself.
So you're psychic. How about some dinner?
Well, I am. I must be. Because look, here on the real estate page.
Honey, I've read them all.
Henry, not this one. Will you listen? Small, 6-room colonial cottage within easy driving distance of Bell Manor Development.
Oh, now, you know darn well we can never afford a section like that. Bell Manor yet.
Will you please listen? Excellent condition, bank inspected, fully insured. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath.
And have they dared to put in the price?
Wait. Large living room with stone fireplace, built on garage, full half-acre plot, ideal for young couple anxious to get away from the noise and dirt of the city. And if this isn't just exactly what we've been looking for.
Sure it is. But the rental on a place like that would be about, I'd say, $300.
Henry, that's just it. The rental is $115 a month.
Oh, now you are kidding.
Look for yourself, see? $115 a month.
I can't believe it, but that's what it says in black and white.
Oh, Henry, it's a dream come true. And all because of my guardian angel and that strange, unexplainable feeling.
Well, there's something wrong with it. Let's face it, Lucy. There must be. A rental like that for a place like that in this day and age?
Well, at least we're going to look into it, aren't we?
Honey.
But we have to. I mean, because of the way we found out about it. The way that something I can't explain forced me to buy this paper, to find this particular ad.
Now, your good old guardian angel.
Oh, please, dear, don't kid me about it.
Okay, we'll look into it. We've got to lose. Who's the agent?
Oh, let's see. His name is... Oh, here it is. Strickler. Orville Strickler.
I'll call him first thing in the morning.
Oh, thank you, darling.
And if there isn't something wrong with it, well, honey, maybe I'll give in and admit that you are psychic.
In just a moment, the second act of Suspense. When Napoleon met his Waterloo, the news was slow in coming across the Atlantic. However, at that time, Americans, though interested, were little affected by what was taking place an entire ocean away. Today, that ocean has shrunk proportionately to about the size of Walden Pond, with little of the serenity about it so admired by Thoreau. Today, we want to know immediately what is going on all around the world. Our concern is vital to the free world. The worldwide network of veteran CBS News correspondents meets this need to know and know immediately. Every hour on the hour, every day, Monday through Friday, this station of the CBS radio network brings you expanded CBS News coverage, the most complete network news coverage in broadcasting today. Throughout the weekend, too, timely news reports at frequent intervals. Keep up with the news as it happens by keeping tuned to this CBS radio network station.
And these pictures, Henry. Oh, isn't it beautiful?
Gorgeous, huh? Yeah, Lucy, it looks real nice, but, when were these pictures taken, Mr. Strickler?
Only a couple of days ago, Mr. Fielding. Took 'em myself soon as we got the place for a listing. It's no wonder we've had so many calls on it already.
And we certainly can't argue with this bank report on it.
That's right, Miss Fielding. The bank wouldn't dare to lie about the place.
I still don't understand this low rental. Can you explain it?
Well, of course, it isn't in Bell Manor. It's 2 or 3 miles out. Real country, farm country.
That's what I like about it.
But it has gas and water and electricity all ready to use. And, well, of course, the telephone's the old-fashioned kind. I mean, you have to call the operator.
Who cares? Darling, this is it.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it is.
Thanks, darling. And now do you believe?
Sure. Sure, anything you say.
Believe what, Miss Fielding?
Mr. Strickler,
pay no attention, Mr. Strickler. My wife's a bit superstitious. Thinks she's psychic is all. Think nothing of it.
Psychic, did you say?
What's the matter, Mr. Strickler?
Huh? Oh, nothing. Like your husband says, nothing at all. It's just that the last folks in the house, well, you know how it is, the noises some folks aren't quite used to out there in the country. Like the tree branches hitting on the roof when the wind blows and... Well, now, let me tell you young ones something.
Yes?
I just want you to know that I stand back of every deal I make. So you take along both copies of this lease, and when you've seen the house, make sure it's right for you. Then you can mail my copy back to me.
Oh, I'm sure that isn't one bit necessary, Mr.
Well, that's just about as fair a proposition as we could ask for, Mr. Strickler. Now, if you let me have the keys?
Yes, sir. Here you are.
Thanks.
And good luck.
Phew, honey. Whew, I never realized we'd had so many things in that stuffy little apartment.
Unless we'll have to buy to fill up this place. Now, where do you want this chair? This side or over there near the fireplace?
Oh, anywhere.
Okay, then I'll put it right here and put it to use.
Well, we'll still have to buy things for one whole bedroom, though.
For guests? Let them bring their sleeping bags. By the time we get all this stuff set, we'll be glad it's all we have.
Why, you lazy bum. There's still an awful lot of unpacking to do.
Oh, hum, just let me relax for a minute, huh? Some of this furniture was pretty hefty to push around.
Well, I still think the movers should have stayed to help. Say, did you hear one of them say they moved the last family in and out of here? Those men were certainly anxious to get away once they'd unloaded that truck. I wonder why.
Oh, they said they wanted to get back before the storm broke. Afraid of our back country roads, I guess.
Henry, how do you think these drapes will look here on... Henry, come on, help me,
Huh? Oh, I'll be right with you as soon as I finish this cigarette.
You'd better.
Oh, listen to that rain out there. Isn't that soothing?
You know, I just knew this was going to be it for us, Henry. After buying that other newspaper that way for no reason at all except that weird, strange feeling that I had to.
Yeah, regular miracle.
You know, I didn't tell you this, but I was out in this section with an agent just last week. And do you know the lowest rental we could find?
$225. I was out here, too.
$250. And not nearly as nice as this.
Yeah, that sweet old guardian angel you're always talking about must be working overtime.
Henry, don't joke about it.
Okay, then prove it. Now, here's your chance to prove it, Lucy. Call in some friendly poltergeist to help me move the rest of this furniture, huh?
Oh, now stop it, you lazy bum. But you are a nice lazy bum.
Yeah, best there is. Listen to that lovely rain out there and the thunder. Nothing ominous, menacing, or frightening.
Well, I should hope not.
Just nice and peaceful. You know, I guess the land up this way can stand a bit of rain, too. The crop's a lot of good.
Crops, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, now, look, little city boy, don't try to sound like a farmer just because there's a little plot of land around us. And will you please get up out of that chair and help? Henry!
Whoa. Sure, sweetie. You don't have to hit me over the head with a thunderbolt.
Ooh, that was a close one. Out here in the country all alone this way, it's sort of scary.
All alone, did you say, huh?
The phone.
How about that? We barely move in here. Somebody calls us up on the phone. Come to think of it, he did tell us the phone was all hooked up. Where is it?
Oh, I'm glad it is hooked up. Now we can call up some of our friends and have them come out and see us. I wonder who it is.
Well, here it is under this crate. Here now. Hello?
But don't invite anybody up here just yet. Not till we're settled, okay?
Don't worry. Hello? What's going on here?
Who is it, Henry?
I only wish I... Hello? Hello?
Number, please.
What?
I said number, please.
Well, yeah, I know you did, but... Listen, didn't you just ring here?
No, I did not, sir.
Are you sure about that?
Of course I am, sir.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. That's funny.
Who was it, Henry?
Well, nobody, nothing. I guess she must have rung us by mistake.
Oh, now, will you give me a hand with these drapes, please?
Yeah, sure, be glad to. Oh, hold everything. And this time I hope there's somebody on the line. Hello? Oh, now, just a minute. What is this? Hello? Hello?
Number, please.
Number, please. Listen, this phone just rang again.
You must be mistaken, sir. I didn't ring you.
Well, somebody did, operator. My wife and I both heard it.
Well, there's no call for you on the switchboard, sir.
Well, then why'd you ring?
I did not ring, sir.
Now, don't tell me. Okay. Gee.
Henry, there was nobody there again, was there?
Nobody but the operator and those funny little... She claims she didn't ring.
That's very funny.
Yeah, funny. Only it isn't this time. Hello. All right, let's have it. What's the gag? Hello.
Number, please.
Now, look, operator, don't tell me you didn't ring the phone this time.
Henry.
I'm sorry, but I did not, sir.
Well, I'm sorry, too, but you must have. I tell you, this phone rang. It rang before, too, in spite of what you say. Now, let's cut out this foolishness.
I am very sorry, sir, but you must be mistaken.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
It could only have been rung through this switchboard. I'm on duty alone here, and I did not ring it.
Oh, no?
And now, if you will excuse me, I have another call to handle.
All I have to say is that somebody around here, and it isn't me, is a cockeyed... Hello! Son of a gun, she can't hang up on me. Just what does she think she's up to?
No, wait, Henry. Losing your temper won't help.
Now, wait a minute. Hello? Operator!
Get out.
What?
Get out.
Wait now. Wait, will you... What is this?
Get out.
Operator.
Get out.
Operator.
Get out.
No. Oh, this is crazy.
What is, Henry? What is it? Tell me.
Sure, I'll tell you. It's a crazy gag or something.
Gag?
Well, I've had enough of it. I'm tearing out this phone.
Henry!
We'll have no more of that nonsense.
Darling, I've never seen you this way. What's the matter?
Nothing, not now. The cord broken off, it won't happen again because it can't happen again.
No!
No is right.
Henry, tell me, what is it? What happened? And the telephone. How could it ring after you...
Couldn't. It's impossible. So it didn't. We were hearing things.
No, Henry. You know that isn't so.
Yes, it has to be. You know it, I know it.
No.
Now, Lucy, we only thought we heard it ring again.
That isn't true.
It has to be. Anything else simply doesn't make sense.
And you were hearing something on that phone before, weren't you? Weren't you, Henry?
All right. Yes, I was hearing something. A lot of laughing, chattering, screwy. A lot of little tiny... And a woman's voice, only... Oh, don't you see? It was only some practical joker. It had to be.
No, Henry, I'm afraid not.
Well, what else could it be? Some of your supernatural spirit friends, I suppose?
Yes.
Oh, Lucy, don't be ridiculous.
Please, Henry, you must listen to me.
No, the whole thing's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
No, Henry, you said a woman's voice.
All this work, the excitement of getting here, that's all it is.
You said a woman's voice, Henry.
Forget it. Just forget it, Lucy. It's just that we're excited. Now, listen. You go out, make a pot of coffee. We'll sit down and relax and be real calm about this. We'll sit down and we'll calmly... Well, don't you see? We're overwrought. We're overworked with all this moving, Lucy, and all the excitement. That's all it is.
I wish to heaven I could believe
it. Oh, it has to be, I tell you.
No.
It's the only possible explanation there can be for it.
Henry! No.
Lucy, just... Oh, it's all right. It's a doorbell. Okay.
Henry, please don't answer it.
Well, there's a bell that makes some sense for a change.
No, what if it's...
Just take it easy now. Yeah? Huh?
Henry, please, dear.
There was no one there.
Darling, are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure there was no one there.
Henry, don't you see what this means then? It's this house.
Oh, no, Lucy, no. What you're thinking is just a lot of crazy superstition.
Please listen to me. You know what it means, too. It's this house.
Okay, I'm going to find out what it means.
Henry!
Yes, hello. Who are you? Who rang this bell? Where are you? Who are you?
Now, do you believe?
No!
Were there any wet footprints on the porch?
No, there wasn't any wet footprints. There weren't any dry footprints. There wasn't anything.
Then it proves it, Henry. It's a warning. We've got to leave. We've got to get out of here.
Get out of here?
Yes, now, before it's too late.
Why?
Now.
Why, Lucy? Just because of that telephone? Because some crazy voice on it said we should?
Is that what it said? Then we've got to. Because this house is haunted. It's full of evil spirits.
Oh, no. That's nonsense. You know it is, and you've got to get over this crazy idea that anything that happens, anything you can't explain is supernatural.
It's haunted. That's why the phone rang. And the doorbell rang. And there was nobody there. There's some evil spirit.
No, Lucy, no.
Yes.
It's some practical joke, that's all. Now stop this nonsense. Get hold of yourself. Come on.
The rent is so low. Nobody will stay here. It's why that agent was so startled when you told him that I'm psychic.
Lucy.
I am Henry. And there is something wrong with this place. We've got to get out of here.
No!
You've got to believe it. We've got to leave or something terrible will happen
And
to us.
I say you've let your crazy ideas go too far.
What else can it be?
I don't know, but there has to be some logical explanation.
No.
And I'm not going to let a lot of superstitious hogwash. Okay, now we tear that thing off the wall. Right off the wall. Okay. All right, here, look at it. Now it's stopped. And now you listen, Lucy.
Please, you listen. You're only losing your temper, refusing to see what this really means.
There's a storm. The air's full of electricity. The long wires that were hooked up to these things.
No.
The long telephone lines out there and the lightning. That's what did it. Now be sensible. We got to keep our heads about this.
And the voices you heard, can you explain them?
Yes, I can. The wires got crossed up in the wind, and that's all.
And when it rang again, afterwards...
Our fatigue, our excitement. I tell you, we were excited. We only thought we heard it.
No, you're wrong. Please, Henry, I'm begging you. Let's leave. Let's get out of here. Go back into town to some hotel.
Lucy.
Yes. Look, some hotel in town that's far away from the terrible things in this
And
house.
I say why. Has this thing rung again? Has this doorbell rung again since I ripped it off the wall?
Please, Henry.
No, of course it hasn't.
Oh, Henry, let's get out of here.
Don't you see, honey, what all that guardian angel stuff, all that psychic talk has done to you?
No.
It's made you believe in all this impossible stuff and how it's frightened you because
Get out
of
of
it. No. It can't be. It can't be. It's impossible.
Here you are, Mr. and Mrs. Fielding. Room 314. I'll just set these bags here in the rack. There you are, sir.
Fine. Here you are, son.
Thank you, sir. Anything else you'd like? Maybe from room service or something?
No, that'll be all.
Yes, sir. Oh, the telephone is right there in the night table if you want it.
Telephone? No, thanks.
Yes, sir. Oh, if you'd like a little news and music, I'll put on this radio for you.
Fine.
Take a few seconds to warm up.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know how good it'll be, though, after that big storm we had. Well, night, sir.
Good night. Feel better, honey?
Thanks, darling. I feel a lot safer now.
Oh, Lucy, I still can't help wondering if we weren't a little foolish letting our imagination run away with us out there. Just because we were tired in the storm.
At this moment, both local and Dorchester County police are making every effort to locate a Mr. and Mrs. Henry Fielding.
Henry, listen.
According to our report, they were the new tenants of a small home on the outskirts of the Bell Manor development that was struck by lightning during the heavy rain and thunderstorm that ended a short while ago.
Lucy.
Fortunately, there was no fire, nor were any other homes in the area affected. But that single bolt of lightning struck the Fielding home with such force as to completely demolish the living room, where a neighbor had reported seeing lights on, people moving about only a few minutes before. However, no sign of either them or their car has been found at the scene. And it's barely possible that they left before the lightning struck.
Good Lord.
This has not been confirmed. If they did leave, whatever their reason, we can only say it was indeed providential they weren't in that house when this catastrophe occurred. If anyone has any information as to the whereabouts of a Mr. and Mrs. Henry Fielding, please notify this station or the Dorchester County Police.
Henry.
I know, darling. Your guardian angel.
Suspense. You've been listening to Bells, starring Rosemary Rice and Bill Lipton, and written especially for Suspense by Jack Bundy. In a moment, a word about next week's story of Suspense. The roots of athlete's foot grow down here, down under the skin surface. But NP27 treatment penetrates down where other remedies can't reach. Roots out athlete's foot. Even penetrates into toenails. NP27 stops itch, relieves pain, promotes growth of healthy skin, guards against new infection. NP27 treatment roots out athlete's foot. Or your druggist will refund your money. Get NP27 treatment. Suspense is produced and directed by Bruno Zerato Jr. Musical supervision by Ethel Huber. Heard in tonight's story were Tony Darnay, Lawson Zerby, and Larry Robinson.
Babe Ruth was a great, but these days, with other factors, other techniques, can there be a greater than the greatest? CBS Radio Network's Battle of the Batters will be heard instead of Suspense this following weekend only. Suspense will come to you here the following weekend. This is the CBS Radio Network.